Internet but never tell.
All right. Welcome. Welcome. This is the first of a kind podcast interview. I'm the Holistic Life Coach. My name is Leland. I am here with Ethan King, my brother from another mother that I know from charity work and things that we do. I am I am totally ecstatic to bring this in and make sure that this works. So if we have any hiccups, if we have any mishaps, upside downs, blame it all on me. I have no idea what I'm doing in this setting right now, and we're trying to just make sure that it works. But I wanted to present Ethan, who is so busy. His schedule and I just mismatch schedules all the time. But I finally got a chance to get him on the show, and I wanted to make sure that he's available, that I'm available, that you get to meet him and his organizations. So, Ethan, please tell me about yourself, some of the things that you do, some of the things that you do, because you do a lot. So, some of the things that you do, we'll try to get them all in there. But please tell them. I'm done talking. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me, and it's actually an honor. I don't normally get the opportunity to get on people's podcasts like that, so I'm this is very humbling to me. Um, my name is Ethan. I run a nonprofit organization called Hope Dealers Outreach. We give back to low income communities. We fight against community violence, and we also work to end the pledge of homelessness and take care of those that are less fortunate than us. And so we just have that opportunity to give back in the community. That's just one of the things that I do. Also do photography, specialize in special events, corporate events, portraits as well. Also serve in education. I
Good.
have experience working in the public education with Title I schools. I even created my own after school youth development program called Surge, mentoring youth, creating leaders, investing, developing, and educating today's youth. And so those are some of the little nuggets that I do. And of course, I serve on different boards, HOA, treasurer, um, serve
Yes, man.
on committees for the sheriff's department and the city Winston-Salem Police Department under Chief Penn. Like I said, I'm all over the place.
I
I
know.
like to stay
I know.
busy, and
I
it
know.
keeps my brain fresh, and it keeps me in knowledge on what's going on in the local community.
So again, I commend you for all that you do. I've seen your work. I've seen the things that you've done. I got to ask you a couple of things, about that and about that work. As far as hope dealers go, what inspired you to take that on? Like, what was the moment? What was that defining moment to say, Ethan King, my hands have to get dirty and to do this? What happened there?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Actually, it was during the spark of the George Floyd and the Breonna Taylor movement during COVID, when the government wanted to isolate everybody and keep us in our homes. We had to wear those masks everywhere we went. I mean, everything was just going. We've never had experienced anything like it, so everything was just going haywire. Then you have the social justice issues, riotings was going on, and Hope Dealers came up with the idea of let's not repeat what's going on in the other states and cities. Let's be that outskirt and outside the box. So we got our local chief of police and our local sheriffs, our gangbangers, whites, blacks, Indians, all kinds of people to come together, and we said we're going to do peaceful protesting. We're not gonna vandalize any businesses. We're not gonna do any of those things that are going on. We're not gonna be pepper spraying people in their faces, kids, and all those things. We're going to have a peaceful protest throughout this whole duration, which sparked huge awareness all over. New York Times came in all the way from up in New York into um, Forsyth County to figure out what the heck. that we're doing that seems to, be working or whatever. And so they have these opportunities to join the organization. And so I said, well, I'm good at administration stuff. So let me sign up for the admin position. And of course, I came in, implemented everything. Of course, at the time, the organization was unincorporated, but it was an organization with presidents, founders, and things of that nature. And I met with Tyrone, and he said, I want to meet with you. And I said, okay, sure. I'm thinking I'm meeting with him. Come to find out, I'm meeting with the founder of the organization. And of course, he didn't really want to hire anybody or, so forth. But Tyrone told him, he said, you need to take this young man. He's going to take this organization to the next height. And so I started off as the admin, came in, putting things and organizing, administrating things, new partnerships, new movements, first time offices and stuff, um, first time internship programs, grants to send kids and single moms back to college with full ride scholarships to local colleges here, all kinds of things that we had established throughout the process. And the founder said, "Yeah, you're gonna be the next person in charge." And I looked at him and I said, "I know you're tripping because I ain't asked to be no, I ain't no, I'm good. I've been in charge of things. I'm good at just sitting behind the scenes and doing Ethan, and doing the admin and putting stuff together, sending emails and keep it pushing." He said, "No, you're gonna." And so my position was pre-told, as I tell people. I didn't. It wasn't something that I signed up and said, "Oh yeah, I think the executive position would be great for me." No, I was told my position, given my position, and so from there, I have done tremendous things. Actually, we'll say it's one of the best things that actually has happened within these years. Been doing this since I was for the nonprofit part. I was already involved in the community through entrepreneurship, but it's totally different when you come into the nonprofit sector and the community aspect. It's a whole different ball game and maneuver and how you do things. And so I've been doing this since I was 22 years old. I'm 26 now. Um,
Short
and
time.
so, just keeping the flow of, hey, at the end of the day, I'm giving back. I'm doing something. I'm inspiring people, and I'm giving hope to where people have given up because of either the government has failed them, the community has failed them, family has failed them, and so they feel, well, it's just me. We've worked with families where a grandmother came all the way out. She said, "I don't want anything." She said, "I just want to thank y'all for coming out here." She said, I'm taking care of nine of my grandchildren. She said she was uh 70 some years old and was taking care of all of her grandkids. And she said, I understand what it's like to not have these things. And we filled up a U-Haul full of hygiene products and cases of water. And we was just going to the different apartments, just knocking up. Hey, you want hygiene products? Come get them. And so having that boots on the ground and meeting the people that really need the structure, the hope, the love, and that one-on-one attention. Being able to go inside those communities and meet those people where they are has really been the huge spot, breakthrough, and inspiration to keep going and go forward. A lot of people are moving to where, it's all about money, 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 and what can I
It's
receive?
all about money.
Um,
It's
but
always about money.
but at the end of the day, you have on that birth, on that gravestone, you're gonna have a from the year you were born to the year you're gonna die. But in between is what matters. And are you gonna be on your headstone? Oh, collected millions of dollars. That's gonna sit.
It depends
Gonna
on the size of the head. I'm kidding. I'm, just, I'm totally kidding. Totally
uh,
kidding.
get dispersed between family members, fight over it. Lawyers might end up
Right.
on it. You done made all of this money, but have not done any impact. Nobody knows your name, who you are.
Right.
So what have you done that has been instrumental that somebody can say, hey, if it had not been for that old Ethan, I probably would be somewhere lynching myself.
So, so with you saying that, that gives me clarity on why you started the Surge program as well. So you were already helping the community, but that gives me a little bit of insight of why, that's the adults, that's the situations, that's the community in itself. And as a kid, you kind of fumble through life until you get to a point to where you realize that you're, accountable for your actions and some of the things that you do and the impact that you have in the world. There's a period of becoming knowledgeable of self and then becoming knowledgeable of others. And I guess that's why you started the Surge program, to give that knowledge before you do something wrong or set yourself into a bad situation where you struggle to get out of. I could be wrong, but please explain.
Absolutely. So you were actually right on the track. Also, of course, during things schools was kind of trying to get in the move of see how things would go going back into school. Kids are out, they're free will, because everything is online. So I mean, there's not really any structure as to you could, make a child sit down and behave and do the classwork. And so kids started finding themselves getting involved in things. The homicides, the shooting rates were going skyrocket. And we noticed that these were not adults. These were teenagers, 14, 15-year-old people out here stealing cars, taking cars from dealerships, driving them to the other side of the area and leaving them. I mean, all kinds of things because we have so many organizations, so many programs and things, but you got to pay in order to join. How is that giving back if I steal? I got 7 kids and you want me to pay $200 a week. Mind you, I'm already on a fixed income, living in section housing, so it's going based off my income, living on food stamps. Where am I going to get that? Where that parent going to get that $200 from? So I said, well, this is the solution that we're going to bring to the table to the community to help the law enforcement, right? Because we were all good at pointing fingers, but at the end of the day, what solution are we going to bring to the table? And so the solution was, let's create a free program that young people can come in. They get community service hours. They get an award ceremony. We open their eyes to things that they don't see on an everyday basis, tours, meeting entrepreneurs, politicians, all kinds of things, showing them the aspect of, hey, if you follow this route, this is what you can do. If you follow this route, this is the consequences that you're going to end up having to face. And we setting cases where 14-year-olds are going to spend the rest of their lives in prison. And guess what? They were there, but they weren't the one or the cause of the situation. But because they were there, now they're going to have to spend the next 14, 15 years. By that time, they're in their well 30s coming out of the prison system. So, that was our solution, our thing of how can we create something that is not a burden to the parents that are already struggling. And providing that inspiration to the young people. So creating that half recreational, half educational aspect and the dynamic to it, to keep the young people engaged, and as well as opening their eyes. There's people that are even lower than you, so we provided them opportunities to help give back in our Thanksgiving drives, fill up the U-Haul, our Christmas give back, and all of those things. The Samaritan ministry, giving out clothes to the homeless, and even families that have children, um, pulling out those tables and giving back. while being a part of the program. So making them feel like they are valued and they are somebody. And so Surge has blossomed, and we have had honor roll kids going honor roll, changed their whole dynamics. We've had first time graduates and first time college students to go into college through the search program. And so it's done magnificent. Not a lot of kids, but it's the impact that matters, right? And
Right.
so, if I can do that with just 4 or 5 young people, just imagine the impact that we can do if we would just humble ourselves as individuals. Cause see, I understand it takes money to do things, but that's what we got local businesses. That's what we have investors for. All of this money
Right.
that's going on, you're not going to use all that money in the lifetime that you live. So why can't you be an investment into your local community and give back to those young people?
I find that to be a misconception. A lot of people say, it takes money to do things, but it takes zero money to be kind or open the
Mhm.
door or just help somebody out and or open dialogue or the little conversations and things of that nature. It takes a little to nothing, to do those things and then make the bigger impacts. It's when you want to directly impact either somebody's financial situation or vice versa, and even then there's different stages. But I think that that's where people lock up is when it comes to, well, I have to have my money to do the thing. I think those people lock up doing that, not knowing that that little bit of money is considered either an investment or considered like a transaction. They just look at it as a transaction. Um, Again, I'm just kind of speculating out. I'm not a financial advisor in that aspect, but I do know that the smallest things in life that are appreciated are usually free because it takes time from some person to give it to the other one. But I will commend you for doing that on both sides, of both aspects, not only getting the money to do the things but taking the kind and the effort as well. So really, I only have one more question to ask you,
Mhm.
and thank you for everything that you do, but I have one more question to ask you,
Mhm.
and that question is the biggest question that I ask of all my guests. What keeps you motivated? What keeps Ethan King going in those quiet hours and that dark space in your mind that tells you to stop, tells you to quit, tell you that this is not working? What keeps you motivated? It could be a story, doesn't have to be a single answer,
Mhm.
but what is it?
That's a that's a good question. I have noticed that we get to a place, and somehow in between there, we forget where we come from. We forget when we was on rock bottom, right? And so I had to again humble myself during that moment in that season coming in as an admin. I was, like I said, I was in the entrepreneurial aspect in the economy, doing all of those things. Those are great. Um, but at the end of the day, if we're not being impactful to our community, then what are we doing? We're just taking up space. So I have made a decision that since then and going forward, that I will give back into my local community wherever I am, wherever I'm going to give back because there was a time that other people stepped in and helped my mom when she was single. Mhm.
Okay.
So it would be behooved of me to turn around and get all these glories, put on these nice suits and all these things and forget, well, I didn't get here on my own. Somebody had to help me. Somebody had to speak encouragement. Somebody had to do something down the line for Ethan to get where Ethan is. Because it takes a village to help just one individual. So my motivation is the impact that I'm making. Because if I stop, how many young people would have been out on the street? Probably
Right.
died.
Right. Right.
Oh, well, you ain't paying me, I ain't going. How many
Yeah.
souls have we saved and made an impact and touched just by spending 2 hours a week with them?
Right.
So if I stop everything right now and just quit it and say, you know what, I'm all about investments and making money. I'm 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 holding the next generation's blood on my hands.
It's heavy.
Because there's no guidance, there's no structure. And we can't leave it to the teachers and the parents who are still developing themselves, that are going through mental trauma themselves. But Ethan is in a stable mind. He has the resources, he has the knowledge, he has the withal and education. Now I can impart those things and those gifts that I have into someone that they can pick up. Now our community gets better. Why? Because we are sharing the gift that keeps on gifting. It's not about I, it's about we. And so, that's my motivation is, if I stop, whose life will I infect?
That's very commendable of you, and I applaud you for that. I got to give you, your props, and again, you do a wonderful job and uplift the community. I got to also let you know that this is your time for, plugging anything that you got going on. Where can people, find you, Hope Dealers? What can they help contribute, either to Surge program or the educational board or anything like? Where can people do this stuff? Because this is going to inspire something or someone. How can
Hmm.
someone get involved?
Well, first off, um, like I said, you got to humble yourself. Don't do it because fire is only but with good within the time that it has, but eventually fire is gonna burn out. So if the fire wasn't already in you, it ain't no use to me telling you, and this little inspiration that's gonna knock up your little spirit right now, and then 3 weeks from now you back doing the same thing.
Well,
So
listen now. Now I can't I can't support that because somebody's always has a starting point. Someone always has a starting point. There's always a story. Somebody may not come
if
from,
your heart ain't complete,
they,
let it
they
go.
may not they may not be there. They may not be there yet, or they may not know the direction yet. I always say the caterpillar cannot comprehend the butterfly, and we don't know where that person starts
Starts
and how
and
they're
how
going to
they're going to
become.
become.
So
So
we'll just
we'll
take
take
that
that
as it's
as
going. There
there
could
could
be a
be a situation
situation, and
that
that
person
person
builds
builds
up
up
to.
to it.
You're absolutely right.
So
So
Yeah, but like I said, figure out where your heart wants to go first. That's one. Two, find an organization that is involved in a local community. I'm talking about involved, not sitting behind the desk. I'm talking about they involved in the community. All right. Three, figure out what gifts can you bring to the table. Oh, everybody wants money. Okay, you don't want to give money, you can't volunteer. Oh, I'm busy. Okay, that's fine. Well, how about you give some resources from your business then? Okay, all right. It's all about the time, the talent, and the treasure. All right. Now it's
so
gonna
how can people contribute to you? Like,
absolutely.
how can what website can they go to,
So,
or how can they get in touch with you?
if you want to give to Hope Dealers, you ain't got to, but if you do, If you want to give to Hope Dealers, you can go to www.hopedealersoutreach.org. It has all of the information. There is a program that we use. It's actually an app, and you can download it on your phone. It's free. It's both Apple and Android friendly, and it's called Giftify. And you can look us up. We are a tax exempt organization, so your donation is tax deductible, and you can have it to where you can give that one time, or you can have it to where it is a recurring gift that comes out of your account, and it goes in to our organization, and it at the end of the year automatically gives you your contribution receipts once you create your profile, which is free, or you can do it anonymous. We also are on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as Hope Dealers Outreach. And of course, we have we adopted a local middle school here. That's a part of our first initiative of helping, and again, back to that solution, becoming that solution oriented organization to where how can we help fill in the gap with the budget cuts for our poverty, our stricken poverty schools here in our community. So we've adopted and built a relationship with the principal and the staff there to where we can help fill in, or try to, for the most part, fill in the gap of the things that they're going to be struggling and missing with, that they're haven't experienced or seen before. So coming in, and we're building a back to school drive, also in cohesive with our hygiene drive that we do every year. And we're going to give that back to all of the young people as they come back in the upcoming school year. So that is one way. We're always looking for different sponsors to help get that initiative going for our back to school drive. So you can go ahead and email us, or hit us up on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, I would like my business. There are different levels that you can do to help be a part of that back to school drive, which is really our huge initiative that we have going on right now.
All right. Thank you. So, again, I appreciate everything you're doing, all the hard work you're doing, everything you got going on, and all the community feedback that you give, and energy you put back in the community, and the positiveness that you put out there.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
yeah.
So I will get all those that information, all those links for you, and I will put it in the comments. I will, post it out there, make sure everybody has a chance to get that, and maybe you put a QR code for those that can't get it when I put it on other medias. But Ethan, it's been a pleasure. As I always say, before I end everything, is 24 hours better, and that seems to be the motto here of every day is a better day. And once you get started, it's always going to be better putting that effort together. Okay, so 24 hours better. Ethan, thank you very much, sir, and everybody else. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this new format, this new style, what I'm going to do. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.